Hello everybody, welcome to Series 4, Episode 11 of the Hidden London Hangouts. My name's Alex, hello. If you watched the Isle of Wight episode last week, thank you so much. The numbers have gone through the roof, more on that a bit later on. But today, we're talking about the Routemaster bus and our opportunity to drive it. I don't do this on my own. I've got three amazing people from the London Transport Museum. There's amazing number one, okay, for this episode. First of all, Chris Nix from the London Transport Museum. How are you today?
I'm good, thanks. Are we going to institute a swear box for the word amazing? Apparently we do use it a lot, but then we just find that things are. So, you know, you've got to say it when you see it.
Do you know, it's funny really, because this episode, unlike a lot of other things on the internet, is completely unscripted. So we say what we say, and sometimes we end up repeating words, but honestly, it did make us laugh because that word does get used quite a lot in our Hangouts and it makes us laugh. So I hope it makes you giggle as well. Sidney Holloway's here as well. Birthday girl, looking gorgeous. How are you?
Hello. Yes, I'm amazing, actually. So yeah, I'm doing amazingly well. No, I'm very well. I had my birthday yesterday, which was very nice. And I'm excited for everyone to see this because this was such a good day out. Oh my gosh, it was just amazing.
I thought you might say that.
She
there
says
it is again. Drop the coins in the pot. And Laura Hilton Brown is here. You're out of hospital now. You've had an arm operation. Feeling all right?
I'm feeling very well, thank you. I'm glad that you said that I'd had an operation, because I thought people might think that this was a result of the bus drive and that I did absolutely terrible and maybe crashed it and hurt my arm, but I didn't. My word for the day was that I was nervous-sighted. I was actually a little bit anxious and nervous at some points, but it was so exciting, and Annesley is so generous to have let us drive this amazing vehicle. Amazing.
There we go. We've all done it.
I know,
Thank you very much. Hard. Apologies. Sorry, not sorry. It's kind of what we're saying, is it, today? Now, back in Series 2, we did a really cool episode about the Routemaster bus, the explanation of it and its successors, that kind of thing. And if you want to go and see it, do feel free. But today is a bit different because at the end of the episode, I showed a very small video of me driving one and then laid down a bit of a challenge to you. If you had a bus, we wanted to come and drive it. And it was really, really quiet for a very, very long time. And I thought, this is going to go nowhere and we're not going to find one and it's going to be a real shame. And then I got a message from a guy called Annesley Abercorn. Didn't I, Annesley?
You did, yes. And you replied very promptly. I was quite impressed by that.
Well, do you know, I like to be prompt, especially when there's a freebie going. And it was an exceptional freebie because Annesley said, not only do I have a Routemaster bus, I've got an ice cream van and a London taxi as well. More on that later as well. But Annesley, I'm curious to know, how did you end up with a Routemaster bus?
So it's been a long-standing ambition of mine to get one, because when I was growing up in London, I used to travel in them all the time. And then when they started to be withdrawn from the streets, I sort of said to myself, oh my God, I can't stand it. I can't imagine living in London without the Routemaster going past me. So I said, right, I need to get one myself one day. As you do. And so this bus is actually my second one. I had one a few years ago. And I just found it through a private preservationist. There is a Routemaster community, if you could believe such a thing. And I was pointed in the direction of this one. It was down in Kent. It was privately owned. And it's been out of service since the late 80s. And it's changed hands several times. And now I'm the one who's got it at the moment. So I think I was quite lucky. I was also particularly interested in this one because it carried its original body, which is quite rare because most of them got overhauled and there was a body swap. So this one's quite rare in that sense. And I was quite keen to get hold of it.
And just to explain that, this is RM357. And when you were saying about body swaps, when it went to the big London bus sort of depot, the garages, if you like, the service centre in Aldenham, they used to take the top off it and leave the gubbins, and then they'd kind of swap them back in any random order, wouldn't they? But yours has actually got the original base and the original body on top.
That's right. So what happened was, at some point during its life, it had a different body. And then in the early 80s, there was an enthusiast at the Aldenham depot who said, right, I've just spotted the matching body, so let's reunite the two. And then this happened, and now it's one of the few examples that's got the original body.
Now, imagine our delight when such a unique artifact in London history was put in the hands of the four of us. I mean, what could possibly go wrong? And roads with limited clearance. We were off road for a start, so it was all safe and fine, but it was a tricky course. And Chris, you've got some photographs of the Routemaster and actually some really cool drawings of its creation and how it's constructed, haven't you?
Well, we do indeed. We have an image here of the very first Routemaster that was created. This is RM1, which of course we have in the museum's collection. This was first prototyped in 1954, and then the design, the Routemaster, entered service in 1956. Quite a revolutionary thing, not just the look of it, but also how it was constructed.
It's beautiful, but very different to the one that we drove, Chris, because the RM357 is a completely different look at the front, isn't it?
It does. The design of the bus took quite a while to evolve. There are it's reckoned to be RM5 before you get to the this now standard look of a Routemaster, a slightly more finely profiled bonnet. So RM1, 2, 3, and 4 all had a different bonnet design.
Well, it was beautiful. And Laura, I mean, when you think about what we did that day, it was quite a feat, wasn't it? I mean, you couldn't do it now with one arm, could you?
Can you imagine? I'm not sure I'd be much better, to be honest with you. I just think that the Routemaster is so quintessentially London, isn't it? It's so iconic with its colour, and it's just thoroughly pleasant, hop on, hop off nature. I'm with Annesley that I was a little bit distraught when it was being pulled off the streets of London as well. And there's a reason why people book it for events and weddings. It's just a beautiful vehicle, and I didn't want to smash that beautiful vehicle up, to be honest. I wanted to drive it and keep it in its entirety. So Alex went first, which was great. He kind of set the scene.
Yeah,
you guys will agree that wasn't an easy route.
He'd done it before too, so I felt like that was fair. Then he could show us the ropes, and then all of you guys could show me how to do it. No, I think you're right, Law. I think, like, to me, being Icelandic, that vehicle literally embodies London and everything that is, it's that and the roundel.
And we embodied perfect drivers that day, didn't we? Ish. It's amazing. It's funny enough, with Laura with just one arm. I mean, to be honest, Chris, for the amount of work we should have needed to do with a gearbox, we only really needed one arm because it was completely redundant, wasn't it?
That's right. So
gear.
Part of the revolutionary design of these vehicles is indeed this bit underneath it, the gearbox. Its predecessor, the RT bus, had a pre-select gearbox, so you would have to select the gear and then let in the clutch, and then it would advance or return the gear. This one, though, the Routemaster, has a fully automatic gearbox. Not that we used it, so we could have just put the vehicle straight into fourth and used it as an automatic gearbox. However, we decided to do what you did when you took it for the spin on the original episode and manually work the gears. And I'm just watching the face of one person on the call who's, I think, hearing that news for the first time. You've just driven it.
Yeah, since, and also, Annesley, did you know that about your bus, that you can put it in fourth gear and it just does its job?
I think you know more than me, because I the last time I tried to drive it was a bit of a disaster. So
you're very honest to say it out loud. You're very honest to say it out loud. I don't know how much what you want to give away, but I went up there for a bit of a test to make sure that we could actually do this. And God bless.
You're telling me that we could have just put it into fourth gear and driven it as an automatic car?
You got away with that, Annesley, by the way. You got away with that, Annesley. Yes, Sidney, you're absolutely right. We could have put it in fourth and it becomes an automatic bus.
Oh my goodness, because I was literally thinking when we were driving it, I was like, gosh, it maneuvers really quite extraordinarily well for its size, because when you're driving it, you sort of get fearful about just like the sheer magnitude of what you're driving. But then I was thinking, like, God, imagine doing that in some of the streets in like the East End and whatnot, and you're having to change gears. But now apparently you didn't have to do that.
You didn't have to do that. Didn't have to do that.
Wow.
It was all a complete ruse, to be honest. Chris, we've got some
Goodness.
I have to
diagrams
say,
as well, haven't we?
for those watching, going, what are these people doing being let loose with the bus? We should stress this was all done on a private road.
Yeah.
So it was not in general traffic.
But let loose is indeed the way I would describe it as well. We've got drawings as well, Chris, haven't we?
We do, yeah. So part of this,
and also we all have driver's licenses, by the way.
So as part of this revolutionary design, the bodywork, which was built by Park Royal Vehicles, so they had this really beautiful aluminium skinned vehicle that formed part of the structure. So it's kind of a frame that also has a stress skin on it and forms part of the structure. Meant that it could be very, very lightweight, and of course was corrosion resistant. Rather beautiful too, and available on a t-shirt. I should have worn today.
Beautiful. Annesley, what we'll do is we'll give you copies of all of these diagrams as well as a little
Thank you.
memento of your generosity to us and your bodywork.
Thank
Second
you.
one, Chris, is
Well,
the base.
this is of the underframes, so the two the subframes that make up what previously on the RT might have been called a chassis. It's actually got subframes, so it's made up of components that are bolted together. And this was designed by AEC, Associated Equipment Company, and you can see here it's a very modern vehicle for its time.
So when Annesley was talking earlier about the base and the top being married together, it's that bit and the previous photograph that go together in concert, don't they?
That's right. It allows you to take those bits apart and, as you were describing earlier, overhaul them, and if you want, at separate speeds on the assembly line. And you can see that this has got independent front suspension. So you can just see the coil springs at the front. That was quite unusual for the time. Because it was a light vehicle, it meant that it handled very well. And that gearbox that you can see in the middle there was really, a revolutionary thing that made driving these a lot easier, particularly in stop-start traffic. And as we found, it's quite a dream to drive.
We've got another one, haven't we, as well, another picture?
Yeah, we do. And by the way, do you know there's a little bit of link between the gearbox on here and designer who used to design tank gearboxes. There you go. Hold on to that thought.
For a future episode, perhaps?
Yes.
Nice work. Nice little teaser there. Oh, and this is nice. This is like all the individual features, Annesley. Lovely, lovely, lovely. What have we got there, Chris?
Yeah, well, this is showing you kind of the features of how bits are put together. So key joints, seams and details. So we talked on the original Routemaster episode about things like the conductor's compartment there. Stay there, Gibson.
And that was where you could stand in, wasn't it? The conductor's the conductor's hole, if you'll pardon the expression, is enough so that you can stand right back.
Yeah, if you kind of fold yourself into it.
Yeah, you could stand in there. And I've seen them do it all years ago.
Yeah. Space for a case as well, if you're traveling to the airport, maybe. Lovely. But the bit which I particularly thought was worth a look is the driver's position.
Yeah. Because we know this very well, don't we? You've got the handbrake, that sort of grabbable, grippable handbrake on the left. You've got your gearbox that just hangs off the steering column. There's that sort of roundy bit and the squarey bit and the knobby bit. That's the gearbox, all of those technical terms.
Roundy bit, squarey bit.
A knobby bit.
Roundy bit, squarey bit.
A knobby bit.
So,
you've got the rotary indicator switch on the dash on the right. And then the clue that this is an automatic is it's got on the right-hand side 2 pedals, a brake and an accelerator.
Yeah.
Oh, see, this is what I did think was weird when we were driving it. Is I was like, you don't have to press a clutch to change the gears.
We were all completely hoodwinked by this, weren't we? As you're about to see.
But can I ask maybe a silly question? Do we know what the top speed of the Routemaster is?
170 miles an hour with the door
open.
open.
Wow.
Depends which one of us was driving it.
Down the M4, yeah.
I think it's about 38.
Is it?
Well, it depends on which variant of the Routemaster you're talking about, of course, because there was a coach version, which we covered on the original episode. Do you remember the RCL 2229, which is the...
Oh, yes, I remember the
of course
RCL
I do.
2229.
Yes.
I think you may have said it was your favourite, Sidney, because it was the coach one that had the very comfy
Obviously, I
seat,
remember
the
all
green
of this
one.
very well.
And Laura, you sat in the cab of it, if you remember, for the...
We did. I was up the top, wasn't I? I was room for one on top. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I'm sure I've seen them drive faster than that, though. I'm sure I've been on like A roads and they've been going quite fast. I mean, I think at one point one of them actually overtook me, which was a bit embarrassing. But, I don't quite know who was driving and how, but it was quite cool. But beautiful bit of artwork there. And as I said, Annesley, we'll send you those three, and you can have as a little memento for your kindness.
Thank you.
So we need to get to the actual main event, don't we? The course was around a private industrial estate, and we went one at a time. And I was pushed forward to have the first go. And here's what happened. Come on in, Nixie. Come on in. Join me in the cab. Are we all ready?
This won't be the first time you've passed out as a driver, is it?
Absolutely. Right, are we ready? Indicate. Let's make a move. Oh dear. Do you know what? I still revel in the fact that a year ago I would never have thought that I would be driving buses or doing half the things that I managed to do as a result of the Hangouts. I absolutely love it. And the Routemaster, I remember as a kid I used to go to the Transport Museum with my nan on the 53 bus, and it was a Routemaster. And I used to absolutely love the sound of the engine, you know, and just listen to it. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. And the opportunity to drive this is just wondrous, really. So I'm so grateful. It's a big vehicle to drive. It feels heavy. And I mean, the gearbox is amazing. These machines were meant to do lots and lots of work, but they're incredible. Ooh, hello. Here we go again. Now, this is going to be fun. Will he want a chicane, or shall I go back a little bit?
I think you could make that through.
Do you reckon?
Or if you just pull over slightly to the left here, he's got enough room to get past. I'm saying I can't see the driver.
It could be, but whoever he is...
Hey.
The guys in this car wash are hilarious. They really don't like us being here.
No.
I can't think why.
I think they're just worried we're going to bring the
I
bus
can't
in
think
for a
why.
wash in a
I
moment.
cannot think why. You know, most drivers are quite sweet and smiley, but you know, some of them are less so. Right, here we go. Are we ready?
Right,
and out we go. A log on the floor. Feed the wheel.
Is that like a cover version of the Fog on the Tide?
Yeah, feed the wheel. Look at this. The log on the floor. And here we go, down the little alleyway. Little indicate, look at that. Even Mr. Nix, he's on camera and also doing my indications. Should we third one? What do you reckon? Let's get into third.
Nice work.
I love that. Down, back down into seconds. And round the corner. And let's pull up here and let you have a go, Mr. Nix, because frankly, everyone needs to play buses today. Well, well, well. What do you think, Annesley? It was your bus. What do you reckon?
I think you did really, really well. I think also I was very grateful because I think you guys were more concerned about the welfare of the bus than I was. So I was very grateful. That was very nice of you. You took great care of it, and I was very happy.
Well, you're very lucky because there is a small segment of footage where I could have demolished a wall, but we didn't do that. So your bodywork was intact for that. Team, what did you reckon? How did I do? Dings out of 5? Ding dings.
I'm guessing Annesley was less clenched on that lap than the one where you nearly reversed into something unfortunate.
I mean,
Well,
there were a
very helpful
couple
with
of
mine.
moments where we had to shout at people, but not really you. It was mostly other people around that could have damaged the bus. But I must be said that Annesley was very chilled and relaxed whilst we were doing this, which I was amazed by.
And in the interest of full disclosure, Sids, you did use a little parliamentary language to prevent me from demolishing the wall, didn't you?
Yes. Diplomatic and
No.
fair, I think you can call
urgent, I believe the word would be.
Urgent, yeah.
But it was great.
To be fair, if you are as loud as me, you know, come crunch time, you need to really let it.
Let's not call it crunch time. That's the thing we avoided.
Yes.
But
I'm
Teamwork.
finding myself slightly distracted by the fact that Laura's being joined by her new kitten.
Yeah, so there's a lovely beam of sunlight that I'm trying to actually cover up because it blinds kind of half my face. But this little man, Murphy, who's one of our 2 new little kittens, has just come to join us and likes that little sunny spot. He's a bit of a people person, so he likes to be around us.
Well, I'm
You know
loving
what it
this
is,
because
Laura?
actually Laura was next off the blocks with this.
Dun, dun, dun.
And yeah, and both her arms were working brilliantly that day, as you'll see.
Right, so I'm going to go into first. I'm going to take the handbrake off, and I'm going to check my mirror.
Yeah,
I'm going to
you're good.
accelerate. Ooh. I might have to do some like weird singy things on the way round because of
That's
the nerves.
entirely fine.
It's literally the biggest, widest, heaviest speed bump. Whoop. Whoop. Just don't want to crash into anyone's car.
Okay, keep it nice and wide.
Right, checking for coaches. This is like coach corner. Changing gears. Just like slow and steady in seconds.
Wow. Request stop.
So that was our opera star, Laura. Laura! At the beginning of it. Very good, Laura. Well done. I felt very safe on your bus.
What's funny about that is that I'm obviously talking through my nerves there. I'm talking to myself like I must do this, and here's coach corner. I've obviously like named little parts of the loop already in my head. And what I noticed on your lap as well, I think Chris is sitting with you up in the cabin, and Sidney and I have obviously forgotten that our mics are on, and we're doing like this weird narration in the back going, oh, it's very close to the corner. Oh my goodness, he's going quickly. Oh, like being like all nervous in the back. Annesley was just sat there completely chilled, like we said. And I don't think Sidney and I realised that our mics were on and we're doing this the whole way through.
It just makes me laugh though, because Annesley's just got this kind of general Zen-like approach to everything, as if he is like a bottle of rescue remedy. He's literally just sitting there calm as anything. I don't know how you do it, Annesley.
Well, these days I get very nervous driving, so I get more pleasure around the back of the bus, I mean. And no, so therefore... It's
fine, we'll just... You fitted in so well on this hangout. You've got no idea. This is so good. So anyway, that was Laura. She did a cracking job. Back to the boys. It's got to be our expert in chief, Mr. Nix, taken to the wheel. And I have to say, there was a certain element of bravado about his driving. I thought he was a little too in control of these wheels. For somebody who's never done it before, I think he did a really good job, as you're going to see.
Well, yeah, I think I'm most surprised by the fact that apparently you didn't need to shift gears, because you really wanted to shift those gears, Chris.
You did?
I think it was just confidence. I mean, yes, I had to listen to your commentaries in the back, but you know,
confidence.
Anyway, let the viewer be the judge.
Yeah, absolutely. You be the judge. You.
Right then,
Right.
let's do this.
Whenever you're ready.
Okay, so we're going to start by indicating, putting the shades on, that's in the highway code, and then into first.
It's like a scene out of Chips.
Check the mirror, see this guy waiting, and we're off.
Well done. Well done, Nixie. This is very good.
Now, I've had a special request from the girls to take it very easy over this first speed bump. Apparently,
really?
we've been getting air on the last few runs, so I'll do that just
We've been getting what?
air.
Oh, really? Well, like
so.
lifting off the ground? Oh, nice work.
There we go. All right,
Nice
so
work.
now we can open the taps a bit.
Open the taps. How does it feel to drive it?
Big, very big.
Yeah.
You really do feel the scale of the vehicle, which is, I guess, a good thing. You don't want to get in and go, oh, it's tiny, and then park it in somebody's hedge. Okay, up into third. Nice, snappy. Let's change briefly into fourth. Just cover the brake as we're coming up. Oh, hello, mate. You're a bit.
He's swift, isn't he?
He's a bit.
Hello.
Yeah. All right.
Crikey.
Down in a second.
Hello, mate.
Good job. I was covering the brake cautiously.
Well done.
Right, here we go.
And then
Okay.
round past the
Down in second.
past a happy car wash place that's really loving all these amateur drivers.
Do you reckon we should take the bus in for a clean after this?
Do you know, I think for me, my pants need a clean actually after this.
Okay, so negotiated the chicane, open her up a little bit as we come out of it, up into third,
I love this.
briefly into fourth, give an indication.
You're a bit of a Jeremy Clarkson on the quiet, aren't you?
There we go. If only this had water on it, we could skid pan it.
Oh, no. Oh, hello.
Hello.
Oh,
He's got enough room there, hasn't he?
Is he? Shall I just usher him through?
Yeah.
Oh, no, he's going to. Okay. He's going to reverse. Okay.
Oh, it's good.
So talk us through the kit down here. We've got the indicator, haven't we? The red thing
Yeah,
is a
so
left.
that's the indicator. So that's now indicating right. You might just catch it out the window. And
Whoops.
if
You can
we...
tell I'm not really a natural born cameraman, really.
I'll
But
do
go on,
it.
do it again. There you go. Look at that.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Okay. And if we just come down here, I'll just put the handbrake on. We'll go into first.
Yep.
Handbrake off. Got the foot on the foot brake, and now
And
if
off
I
we go.
give it a bit of gas.
Well done.
We'll have it into third. Yeah, I've just got enough time for fourth.
You cheeky monkey.
Yep.
You cheeky,
Down
cheeky
into
monkey.
third. Just coasted to the corner. Down into second. Just have a little look at
Love a
what's
bit of that.
going on.
And you're
We're all
all
clear.
right.
Probably a little close at the back, but I think that's all right. Just want to get a nice swing in. And then
Good work.
park her up nice and
Nicely.
close.
Good work.
There we go. All right, so
Well done.
cancel the indicator into neutral, handbrake on.
And you're
Job
done. Do you know, this is great to watch, isn't it? I love this. Honestly, you'd be delighted to know that fourth gear does work on your bus. Chris
Right.
was the only one who got into it.
Right. Okay. Very good. Very good.
And the only thing is, we could have all been in it for good. That would have been even better if we'd all worked out how an automatic gearbox works. Siddles, what do you reckon? Is your
Oh my
partner in
goodness.
crime? Did he do well?
He, I think it was the only time when because I was standing at the back as a conductress whilst Chris was driving, and literally was suspended mid-air when he went over some of the speed bumps, because literally he was just plowing on. And I genuinely, yeah, there was liftage.
I was
It's
just,
funny
I
'cause
was
there's
just
that
testing the
phrase.
independent suspension, and if I'd have
Uh-huh.
done it a bit faster, I could have put you on the top deck.
It's that very strange phrase, though, isn't it? Getting air. I thought you got that after eating lentils, but very, very strange. It was clearly this sort of the image that the bus actually leaves the floor and air arrives in between the floor and the wheels. Very, very entertaining. Very, very entertaining indeed. And of course, the final one of our stars, driving stars, because we all were stars that day, was our very own Siddles, who in her time has driven cranes and forklift trucks and submarines, I don't know, all sorts of things, but she's done it all. And this day she got inside RM357.
Brian says you're going to nail it.
Excuse my language. The only one that doesn't give any commentary whatsoever. It's so focused.
Put your brain where it needs to be. That's the main thing.
Nice job. Oops, sorry, overdid it.
Done.
Well done.
Well done. Sidney's available for commentary drives and after dinner speeches, which is lovely. I have to say, by the way, guys, that I mean, look, we're roaring because this was so funny. Signals, you hardly said a word.
The only thing I said was a bit of profanity at the start and done.
Done. She was. It was beautiful. I
have to say, Alex, that you know, Sidney correctly observed the highway code in wearing her sunglasses too.
I thought she looked like a member of the Beatles. It was quite.
If an assassin were going to their job driving a bus, that's what it would look like.
Yeah.
Jesus, well, Laura put it quite correctly. That's the quietest I've ever been.
I have to say, though, you know, your driving sense, you can tell you've driven a lot of different things because your driving was absolutely spot on. It really was. It was a beautiful drive. I mean, just if you're waiting for words, it was just going to be a long wait, but it was great. I loved it.
Oh, God. Yep. I mean, it has been 10 years since I last drove a very large vehicle. So you can see just the sheer determination in my stone-faced demeanor.
In Sidney's defence and my defence, because we only got to second gear, which probably isn't the best bus driving in the world, but that route was it was a loop, so there were 4 kind of tight corners. Also, there was a coach station right next to where Annesley leaves his bus, and they decided to not operate the one on the same one-way system that we did. So there was a nervous kind of moment where I think Alex and Chris, maybe even Sidney, met a coach, you know, and that coming towards you when you're driving someone else's bus.
Nobody wants to meet a coach the first time they drive a bus.
I know, and they weren't kind of very lenient towards us. They wanted to come on through. So there was a bit of reversing of bus as well. So I think Sidney and I had seen that happen, and we were just like, please don't be on our route. Please don't be on our route. Quite a tight little loop. Even though it was private land, it wasn't the easiest,
I think, Laura,
but
I think, Laura, that Sidney's got a different thing going on. It's just occurred to me that she's auditioning to be the Stig if Top Gear ever come back. Because talking is absolutely not required.
I loved it. Absolutely loved it. You did so
it's
well.
very
Come
funny
on, Annesley. I think it's time for you to judge who did the best.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Sidney, I think Sidney made it look very easy. You made it look like you were making a cup of tea or something. It was like really made it look
the kettle would make more noise than she did.
But you all did. I mean, you all did extremely well, much better than I could. So I was very impressed.
Do you know what?
I feel like I was channeling what a real bus driver would be, which is there to do a job.
Yeah, get in, get on, get out, as we used to say.
Done.
Absolutely marvelous. It's great, and I can't thank you enough. It was quite a course, and guys, you did brilliantly, by the way. Thanks for doing what I wanted to do, and that was just have a bit of a laugh with the bus. But Annesley, we have to be honest, you do have other vehicles, don't you? So this could be, I mean, I could be Mr. Whippy in a subsequent
we've
episode.
got to do the ice cream van, 100%.
Yeah. So the ice cream van is currently up in Crewe, being restored by Whitby Morrison, who made them originally. It's a Mr. Whippy van, Bedford CF, 1971.
And does it have one of those Carpigiani pumpy ice cream things?
Exactly.
And what music does it play?
At the moment, I think it's Green Sleeves and Nelly the Elephant.
Yes, it's funny because when I was a kid, my mum used to say that they only play the music when they've run out of ice cream. So,
right.
So you used to drive around the street, and I never used to be allowed out because it was like, well, they've only run out of ice cream, so that's why they're playing the music instead.
Oh my goodness! Being Icelandic, I know Nelly the Elephant. That's nice, but I could sing that to you in Icelandic when we go do it. So
could you do it now?
I won't be so quiet. I'll sing Nelly the Elephant in Icelandic.
Give us a line of Nelly.
Fíllinn og Nelly fór fyrsta stað í frönsku vil til flýja.
There go the ratings again.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Thank you so much, Annesley. Stick around. We've got a couple more bits and bobs to do. Laura, Sidney, Chris, you were amazing.
Thank you. It was a really, really nice day out to do that. And thanks so much, Annesley, for letting us loose with your pride and joy there.
Gorgeous
but
stuff.
No, we
Thank
enjoyed it immensely. I think.
Lovely. So that was the Routemaster episode. Notes, queries, and questions. First of all, we've obviously had loads and loads of comments and likes and views on the Isle of Wight episode with the new trains running on the Island Line. The numbers, Chris, have astounded us, really, haven't they?
They really have taken us by surprise, yeah. And thanks for all the lovely comments as well that people have left, and extra facts and so on that people have left in the comments. Always good.
Too many really to mention. Isle of Wight Met Service, great video, thoroughly enjoyable to watch. Some very interesting comments about my guarding duties as well. And it's really interesting because a lot of people picked me up on the fact that I didn't stand with the guard's door open as the train left. Now, I don't know whether that is a railway convention that you don't do on the trains. I don't know. I've never seen it happen. But I do remember when I was watching guards on the underground, that they used to put their foot in the guard's door, in the way of the guard's door. And as the train left, they would have the door open, and the guard's foot would stop the door from closing. So take the foot away and the door would shut just as the train left the station. Does anyone else remember that?
Very much not official practice, I think.
It's very strange.
Apparently, and it's worth saying, of course, that we weren't actually pulling away, so that's why we didn't shut the panel as we walked away, because the train was actually not leaving the station. We were just demoing it.
I just wanted to play with buttons. That's all it was, really. It was great. Loads of other lots of waffle, not enough train.
I don't. Do you know what? Of everything, I don't think we didn't eat any waffles that day.
We didn't get a fish pie. And interestingly, I have to say, by the way, this is just beautiful because the Spyglass Inn in Ventnor messaged me to say what a great video. Thanks so much for the mention. We're glad you actually managed to get some fish bite. It does have a tendency to sell out. Lots of love. Adam from the Spyglass Inn. We bought our lunch, by the way. It wasn't a freebie. We bought our lunches. So we were just bowled over by the joyous place. It was wonderful. Chris.
Can I just say, I love that people have clicked on a video called Hidden London Hangout and are then saying there's too much waffle. If it was entitled Hidden London Dry Lecture with no life or soul, then I'd get it. But
yeah. Well, I must say though, it has made me think I must have the crew around to my place for some Icelandic waffles though.
That would be rather lovely.
Let's bring the ice cream truck for that one.
And actually it is something to just mention. You know, the thing about the Hidden London Hangouts is that the history of them is that we all gathered together in lockdown, and it was an hour where we could escape the misery of lockdown, have a natter, learn something new, and have a laugh. And for so many of you guys, this is what you like about it. There's so many other options of informative videos on YouTube and everything else. And if that's more your thing, then that's great. No worries at all. But if you like what we do, we like you too. So thank you very much for everything that you say about us. It's complimentary because we do like nice words. And there was another thing as well. I was trying to find it actually about whether or not those trains are diesels. But actually those old district line trains that have been turned into something else by Viva Rail, Chris, some are diesels and some are electrics, aren't they?
They are, and they've even got a battery variant as well. So yeah, there's lots of different variants. This is just the one that's being used on the Isle of Wight. Oh, I did also see in the comment as well, somebody was saying, oh, could they use one of the battery variants to extend the line back to Ventnor? Because I believe that getting a power supply to Ventnor was part of the issue. Technically, I suppose you could. The actual bigger issue with getting the train to Ventnor is the fact that it's several hundred feet above sea level where the station is, so you'd need to install a cliff railway to make it any use to get down.
You would indeed. And finally, from Dave Harris, he says, "Nice to see that you're back on with your devoted audience, no longer skiving." We had a couple of weeks off. We had a couple of weeks off, and truly, I had COVID. And Chris was in Greece. And so my COVID and Chris's vacation meant we kind of had to take a bit of a break because I could hardly catch my breath. It was not good. But and I'd been double jabbed. So keep an eye out for a cold or mild flu because it could be COVID. Make sure you do your tests. Thank you very much indeed, Annesley, for your generosity, your kindness, and all of your interesting stuff. But most importantly, the keys for your bus.
Oh no, you're very welcome. It was a great honor to be part of it, and thank you for inviting me along today. And hopefully at some point we can do more stuff in the future.
Dun, 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 dun. They've run out. Chris.
Yes, well, of course, while we had a Routemaster, we had to have a little chat on it, and we also had to address a little error that we made when we did the Imbabus episode, didn't we?
An error? What did we do?
Yes.
What did we do?
Oh, well, we talked about the seating covering, didn't we, on the BEA bus?
Yeah.
Shall we go and have a chat on the bus?
Correct. Yeah, go on, do it. Run VT. So now we're on the top deck of Annesley's bus. Annesley has got the camera. Two things. Annesley said, "Does the heating work on this bus? I'm not sure." What would we all say?
Yes, right.
You could bake bread up here. And secondly, you might wonder why I'm wearing this. It's because my hair has got so wild today that Sid, you very sweetly donated your scarf to be a bandana for me.
I was going to do the whole Penelope, what's her name?
Pit stop.
Pit stop.
He looks like he could be off Napoleon Dynamite, the film, don't you think?
I'm more Penelope Keith today, but anyway. So you've got your case. And we've got a little bit of parish notice, haven't we? Because in the Imber episode, we talked about the BEA Routemaster bus, you know, the one that used to go from Kensington to Heathrow and take passengers to the airport from central London. And we thought it had a certain type of moquette. This is moquette.
Yeah.
But we were wrong, weren't we?
We were, because we didn't get to go on it. We were so busy filming, it eluded us for the day. And had we have got on it, we would have realised that we made the following
Oh, it's that
mistake.
case again.
So,
That case.
Where's the glow?
we said that this was the variant of the maquette.
The bumblebee.
Yeah, because this is BEA maquette. But we had a letter immediately.
Was it in green ink?
But I will always take a letter from this person, no less than Leon Daniels, former Managing Director of Surface Transport for Transport for London.
Hi, Leon.
And also the big cheese at the London Bus Museum. Drop me a note to say, I'm afraid you were wrong. But he said, oh, I'll send you a photo of what was actually on it. And he said it was the same as the Green Line coaches, which we've seen before. It was one of our favourites. Remember?
Do you remember from the Routemaster episode?
Yeah.
I mean, we stand corrected. What a great letter to have in. And Chris obviously had a sample of the one that we
I mean,
needed.
obviously, he's got everything.
So thank you, Leon. I don't need much excuse to show a nice maquette on any of these episodes, as you know. So it's nice to get that out. Now, of course, we do have. I don't need to do it really, but that's what the original maquette is like. And because we do need an anybody. What bus is that?
Oh, I know that. Anybody? It's RT.
Correct. It's
I
RT.
was going to
Oh, you're
say
going to do it, weren't you?
I genuinely was. I know I
You're
say that all
going
the
to
time.
do it.
The predecessor, really,
Yes.
to this one, and
The old bus with the big headlights. Yeah.
Often mistaken for a Routemaster. Remember the quiz question in Summer Holiday? It's not a Routemaster, it's an RT.
Yeah.
So,
Just look at the green on this.
got to be a future episode, hasn't it, RT?
Yeah, definitely.
We just
Well,
need
now
one
that
fun
we're
one we can
all
drive.
Very experienced
We're now proficient in driving a
bus
Routemaster.
drivers.
After driving twice around industrial estate, didn't we do well?
To be fair, out of all the places you could have taken us to drive a vehicle like this, a windy industrial estate
Narrow,
is probably the hardest. So there we
tight
go.
corners.
And I have to say, you guys, because they always do this, if we ever go out of our comfort zone, these guys always go into slightly fearful mode. You nailed it. You absolutely nailed it. You were brilliant.
I think that was such an experience doing that. Hopefully, if Leon's watching this, I'm sure he will be. They've got an RT at the London Bus Museum.
Lovely.
And you know who does driver instruction there? Peter Roger.
No!
Yes. So perhaps, Peter, Leon, could we come and do a little bit of RT
We're really
at the
good.
London
Well,
Bus Museum?
these guys are a little bit,
Ropey.
They like to go
Speed.
They did want to go a little
speedy.
fast.
Got into fourth
Whereas
gear.
There was some
also going
speed
fast.
bumps. No
but
need to
we-
go fast over speed bumps.
Exactly. Whereas we were calm,
Slow and steady wins the race.
And Mr. Nix, we actually did get a comment from Leon, didn't we? Specifically sent in.
Yes, Leon sent a very nicely edited package just to emphasise this point, and here it is.
Hi, it's Leon Daniels, and it's not like my old friend Chris Nix to make a mistake when it comes down to seat maquette on London Transport. But in a recent episode, he showed you this. This is BEA2, one of the AEC Routemasters that used to be used between the West London Air Terminal and Heathrow Airport. When he showed you this bus, it was at Imber. It was first outing for about 20 years. And he also told you it had a special moquette, this. But in fact, that's not quite right. The moquette on BEA2 is the same moquette as we have on the Green Line Routemaster coaches. The special BEA moquette that Chris was talking about, in fact, was used on the previous generation, the 1.5 deck AEC Regal 4s that predated the Routemasters. So this green moquette, the BEA moquette that Chris described, is on these vehicles, and the Green Line moquette is on BEA2. And now, back to the team.
Oh,
No, did he really just do that? That is brilliant.
Love it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Full marks for production value, and you can't.
Wow.
Yeah,
That
my
was-
work here is done, guys. It's over to Leon
Done.
next time. This is easy.
We've got a new
Star.
producer.
You star. Right, okay, the thank yous. Chris, thank you so much, as always, for being here.
Thank you, and thank you to Leon for a beautifully made little insert segment there. I think that could be a new segment on the show.
Yeah, my best package. Sidney, thank you so much.
Thank you. My goodness, Leon, that was amazing how concise and brilliant that was. And Chris, you got schooled.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and Laura, thank you so much for just being so lovely and nervous-sighted.
Oh, I was very nervous-sighted. Yeah, thank you to you and Annesley for setting that up and allowing us to just have such a great experience, because thank goodness there weren't any bridges, because all I can say, I was so concerned about the width of this vehicle, I think I completely forgot about the height of it. So I think I would have swiped the top off. But it was a fun one to come back to. I've been obviously a little bit out of action for a while, so the team, well, they have taken one for the team, and I haven't been around for a little bit, but good to be back, and excited about, from now until Christmas, we've got some fun things coming up. So watch this space.
Laura's hinted at it. If you think the last couple of weeks have been good, heavens to Betsy, you won't believe what's coming next. It's off the scale. I reckon we did about 6 amazings in this episode, so I think we did quite well.
Or
really,
maybe
with
a
that.
few more.
We'll put it in the charity pot. It's all good. You found us on YouTube. Thank you so much. Like, comment, and subscribe to our channel, and be back next week. If you want to find us on Instagram, it's Alex Grundon, Chris Nix, City Holloway, Hidden London Law, and at LT Museum. And as I say, in the run up to Christmas, we've got some absolutely incredible episodes to come. Have yourself a great day and stay safe.